Hey everybody. Today we're going to be talking about evaluating expressions. Specifically, we're going to be using the order of operations and we're going to be substituting for variables. Let's start with the order of operations. The order of operations was developed so that two people working on the same math problem would do it the exact same way and arrive at the same answer. We always start with any operations that take place within parentheses. Once we've taken care of the parentheses, we do the exponents. Then we do all of the multiplication and division. Then we do the addition and subtraction last. When we're doing multiplication and division, we always go from left to right. Same with when we get to the addition and subtraction step. We work from left to right. And we'll do a couple examples so you can see exactly what we're talking about. One way that people try to remember this order is they just use the first letters and they call it PEMDAS. Another saying that people use is please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, going from top to bottom. And if you can remember that, you can remember how to always do these problems correctly. All right, let's check out a few examples. Now, before I get started here, I'm going to write my order of operations up here at the top so I can refer back to them and make sure I don't make any mistakes. So, for this first example here, let's go with red. So, I don't see any parentheses, so I can move right to my next step, which is exponents. And I notice I have an exponent right here. I have 2 to the third power. So I need to take care of that first. So 32 divided by, now 2 to the third power, that's 2 times 2 times 2. So that's going to give me 8 plus 6. So I have 32 divided by 8 plus 6. Now I did exponents. Now multiplication and division comes next. So I don't have any multiplication, but I do have division. 32 divided by 8 gives me 4 plus 6, and 4 plus 6 gives me 10. And that is my answer. So taking it slow, step by step, doing the order of operations, that problem wasn't too bad. Let's try the next one. Once again, we see an exponent here on the middle number. So I'm going to rewrite, I got 15, 6 to the second, that's 6 times 6. 6 times 6 is 36, minus 4. Now, I don't have any more multiplication and division, but I do have addition and subtraction to do. Now, I have to do both of these, but I'm going to go from left to right. So the first thing I'm going to do is 15 plus 36. 15 plus 36 is going to give me 51. Minus 4, 51 minus 4, 47. See, not too bad. Now my last one, here we finally have some parentheses. Now we actually have 2 sets of parentheses, even though these don't quite look like parentheses. Those are called brackets. They just do them to show that there's a second set, so that they look different. So we have to do parentheses first, so I see those brackets. Now I also have these parentheses inside, so we've got to go inside to the brackets and then inside again into the parentheses to start. So I have 2, I'm going to draw my bracket. 9 plus 3 is 12, taking care of what's inside the parentheses. Then we have divided by 4. Now, inside the bracket still, 12 divided by 4, that's going to give me 3. So I have 2 times 3, and 2 times 3 gives me 6. There's my answer. Just make sure, anytime you see multiple sets of parentheses, we always start on the inside and we work our way out. All right, now let's try some examples with substitution. So we have 3 examples here, and for each one of them we're going to use the value y equals 8. Let me write down my please excuse my dear Aunt Sally again, just so I have my order of operations. So let's start with the first one. Now, anytime we have an exponent and we're substituting, it's a good idea to use parentheses. I would do this anytime we have an exponent. So now that we've rewritten the expression, we can just do our order of operations. So first, we start with parentheses. Now, inside those parentheses, there's nothing to do. All we have is that 8. So we can go to the next one. We have exponents. 8 to the second power is 64. 8 times 8 minus 3. Just taking it one step at a time. 64 minus 3 gives us 61. And there's our answer. Our next one, we have 12 minus 8 minus 1. Since there's no exponent here, we really don't have to use parentheses. So 12 minus 8 minus 1, we have two subtractions. Make sure we go left to right. So 12 minus 8 is going to give me 4. 4 minus 1 is going to give me 3. Now, my last problem here is a little trickier because it's written as a fraction. So when I substitute, I'm just going to make sure I put my 8 in for both y's. So we've got 10. That says 10 times y plus 1, so it's going to be 10 times 8 plus 1. And in the denominator, we have 8 plus 1. When we're working with an expression that's written as a fraction, we want to do the numerator and the denominator separately. So we're going to do one first and then the other. So we can start with the numerator. We're going to do the same order of operations. There's no parentheses, there's no exponent, so we go to multiplication and division. We got 10 times 8 is 80 plus 1 over 8 plus 1. Now we're going to do addition on the top. 80 plus 1 is 81 over 8 plus 1. I'm just doing one step at a time. Now the numerator's done. We can do the denominator, 81 over 9. And that's a fraction. We want to simplify it. I know 81 divided by 9 equals 9. So there is our final answer. You know, it might be a good idea for this last one to write evaluate numerator and denominator separately, right? We're going to do one, then the other, and then we do the division at the end. So that's all of our notes for today. Make sure you have your heading written correctly, and then do your questions, your summary, and your extension question, and submit your notes through Canvas. Thanks.